So in previous session, we understood what is the meaning of SAQL, Salesforce Analytics Query Language, and we understood whenever I'm writing a SAQL, it means it will have a input data set, it will operate on it, and some output result will come as a data set, which we can use in my dashboard or for wherever I want to explore my data for visualization. So now let's go a little bit deeper to understand how I'm writing one SQL and how that SQL having different kind of syntax or different kind of functions, different kind of statement, how I'm going to use to write my SQL statement to visualize my data. Okay, trust me, it is quite easy to learn SQL. Okay, so once again to revise, SQL nothing but the query which loads input data set, operate on it, and output as a result data set. Each SQL statement, what I'm going to write, has an input stream. That means if you go to a sample example, see, this is nothing but my one SQL statement, which resulting this kind of data set. And if you go to chart mode, you can see how nicely I'm displaying my data. Okay. If you see this SQL, we are going to write this as example. I'll show you to understand the statement. So this is nothing but some kind of data set I have loaded. Each statement, what you see, there is one input stream. Okay, some input data set we have. You can see this nothing but this is my data set which we have used, and then we operate on that data set. Like here we operated with the group by, we did order by, we did some kind of measures, like some kind of, we can say, aggregate functions we used here, and finally we got my data what I want to visualize, and that visualization you can see how it looks like. So now SQL nothing but it will load one input data set, operate on that, and output the result as a data set. So I load the data set where I kept something queue. I'll explain this statement, what is this statement and how I'm going to write it. Okay. Then finally I'm getting that as a data set to display here, because my dashboard need a data set where I can visualize it. And the data set nothing but I input it and I operate on it, and then I'm visualizing it. So each SQL statement has an input stream, operation, and output stream, and statement can span in multiple lines and must end with semicolon. If you see, every statement I'm ending with a semicolon here. Okay, and each query line is assigned to a name stream. So whenever I have a query, then in the left side you can see there is a name stream. I'm assigning to a name stream. Always you can see this left side one, and a name strip can be used as an input to any subsequent statement. That means now if you see here in the first statement I said, okay, don't worry what is this load I have written, this is a keyword, I will talk about it and how I'm going to use it, why do we need it, I'll talk everything about it. But to understand it, so I load one data set, you can see my name stream became queue, and for any subsequent statements I'm using this name stream. That means a name stream nothing but can be used as input to any subsequent statement in the same query. See, I'm using here I have queue, then again I'm using this group queue, like on which stream I want to work. See, everywhere in every subsequent statement we will have that stream. And the only exception is to this rule, whenever like in the last line query, we do not need to assign explicitly. See, if you do not assign explicitly here also, that's fine in the last line. But for every statement, you have to use your name stream, and in each subsequent, you have to use your this stream to use. Okay, so whenever I want to use SQL, okay, so what we do here in my Analytics Studio user interface, like say here nothing but I'm in the dashboard page. I'm just building a dashboard. So now in this dashboard page, when I click on this query mode, I came to the SQL window, or you can say the SQL edit mode where I can modify it. So whenever you use the Analytics Studio user interface to modify existing SQL query or write new one, we simply use this place where I can write a query or I can modify the existing query. And every component in Einstein Analytics use SQL behind the scene. See, this is the dashboard. Same way you go for lens. So everywhere in the behind there is a SQL statements. and we can build a widget in dashboard. Then we can switch to SQL view how I'm doing here. We can see the what kind of SQL query we have. Even we can create a lens while exploring a data set. We can simply switch to SQL view to see the SQL query for the lens. So it may be your dashboard, it may be your lens. Let me go to your analytics studio. Let me show you what I mean here. This is the page where I'm creating a dashboard. You can see the URL here, dashboard. Same way, if I go to my analytics studio and if I go to my lens or my data set, you can see everywhere in the behind, you will have some kind of SQL. If you go to this lens, see, this is sample lens, for example. I'm opening this lens. So in this lens, if you click on this query mode, you can see some kind of query statement being used. So every widget what I am going to use, everywhere I am using a SQL statement in the behind. So SQL, nothing but my Salesforce Analytics query language, is only responsible to get my visualization of data in the backend. Okay. So simply you can go to your dashboard, you can go to your data set wherever you want, you can edit and you can simply get your query mode how or where I want to edit it. It may be in your lens or wherever you want. Let's say close it. Okay, I want to get it simply if you open this lens or you edit anything and you simply go to this query mode to get it. Okay. So now in the next session, we'll see how I am going to write a SQL statement from the scratch, and to write a SQL statement, what kind of thing I need to know. Thank you. Stay tuned for next session.